A single woodpecker strike lasts only an instant. But slow it down, and an entire survival system appears. The feet hold the bird against a vertical trunk. Stiff tail feathers brace its body. The neck guides the head forward, and the beak meets the wood along a controlled path. Then, almost immediately, the bird resets and strikes again. What looks like reckless violence is actually extraordinary precision. But precision alone does not explain everything. Inside the skull is delicate living tissue experiencing the same abrupt stop, blow after blow. Why does it not behave like a human brain during a collision? To answer that, we must follow the force from the tip of the beak through the entire bird. For a woodpecker, hammering is not a stunt. It is a survival tool. The bird may drill through bark to reach insects hidden deep inside the wood. It may excavate a nesting cavity, defend a territory, or drum on a resonant surface to announce its presence across the forest. The same beak can serve several very different purposes. A rapid drum sends a signal. A slower series of forceful blows opens the wood. Once a tunnel is exposed, the bird may stop hammering and probe inside for prey. Across repeated bouts of drilling and drumming, those short bursts can accumulate into thousands of impacts. Each task demands force, and that creates a paradox. The woodpecker must protect its brain, but it cannot simply place a soft cushion behind its beak. If too much energy were absorbed by the head, less energy would enter the tree. The safer hammer would also become a weaker one. For decades, the woodpecker skull was often described as a natural shock absorber, but high-speed measurements have challenged that simple picture. During impact, the beak and skull appear to slow together, behaving less like a padded helmet and more like a stiff hammer. The control begins before the beak ever reaches the bark. Powerful claws anchor the bird to an almost vertical surface. The tail presses against the trunk as a third point of support. Together, they stabilize the body and create a firm platform for the next strike. Then the neck takes control. The head is not thrown forward at random. Muscles guide it through a rapid, repeatable motion. Keeping the strike closely aligned with the beak limits the kind of uncontrolled twisting that can make head impacts especially damaging. This does not remove the force. It controls where the force goes. At contact, the beak must remain stiff enough to penetrate wood. The skull must also resist excessive deformation. Different layers of bone and keratin influence how stress moves through the head. Computer simulations also suggest that the hyoid apparatus, the long structure supporting the tongue, may help stiffen the connection between the head and neck and reduce oscillation after impact. But it is not a magical seatbelt wrapped around the brain. No single bone explains the woodpecker's survival. The most important advantage may be one the bird cannot see: scale. A woodpecker's brain is far smaller than a human brain. That matters because injury is not determined by acceleration alone. It also depends on how much the brain moves and deforms, how long the force lasts, and whether the head rotates. Inside the woodpecker's compact skull, the brain may have less opportunity for large internal movement. Its small size also changes how the tissue responds to the extremely brief impact. And each peck is over almost as soon as it begins. So a dramatic acceleration number does not automatically mean the bird experiences the same event as a human in a crash. The bodies are different. The brains are different. And the impacts are different. A human accident is often unpredictable. The head may twist, rotate, or strike at an irregular angle. A woodpecker's movement is far more controlled. The bird repeats nearly the same action along a carefully guided path. Even so, scientists are cautious about declaring the woodpecker completely immune. In one small study of preserved specimens, researchers found accumulations involving tau, a protein associated with brain injury in humans, but the meaning remains uncertain. The deposits may indicate damage, a normal adaptation, or something scientists do not yet understand. They do not prove that woodpeckers suffer the same disease seen in injured people. That uncertainty makes the animal even more remarkable. The woodpecker is not protected by one perfect helmet. It survives through a coordinated system: gripping feet, a bracing tail, controlled neck muscles, a stiff beak and skull, a compact brain, and a behavior refined through countless generations. Return to that single strike. The feet lock, the tail braces, the head aligns. The beak accelerates, meets the wood, and rebounds. Then the entire system resets, again and again. Evolution did not merely protect the woodpecker from the hammer, it transformed the bird itself into the hammer.